Hi everyone, welcome back to array series. So today we are going to see a different problem which says that you are given an array of size n and an integer x, and you have to check if there exists a triplet in the array such that when that triplet that triplet is equal to x. What is a triplet? Triplet in an array means three numbers in that array such that when those three numbers are added, they sums up equal to x. Okay, so if you see here also it says triplet in the array which sums up to the integer x. So basically you have to find three integers in the array which are equal to x. So if you see example number 1, x is 24, and you see 12, 3 and 9. They both when added, all three of them when added, they are equal to the integer 24. So that's why the return value for this example is true, and that's why the output is true. And here if we want to print those three numbers, then it's 12, 3 and 9. Okay, and if you see example number 2, here x is 13, and if you see in the array there does not exist any three numbers, those when are added sums up to 13. So that's why the output for this example is false. So now what we are going to do is we are going to see different approaches to solve this problem, and we are going to start from the very basic approach, and we are along with that we are going to see the code for different approaches of this problem, along with the time complexity and space complexity of these approaches. We are going to start from the very basic approach, and little by little we are going to optimize those approaches. Let me write the example again. So it's 12, 3, 4, 1, 6 and 9, right? First example is this only. So first approach is very basic. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use three loops. One pointer I'm going to keep here, one pointer I'm going to keep here, and another pointer I'm going to keep here. Let's name it as I, j and k. So I am going to run from 0 to n, then j I'm going to run from I plus 1 to n, and then k I'm going to run from j plus 1 till n, and I'm going to check if the integers at index I, index j and index k, if their sum is equal to x or not. If yes, then I'm going to just print those numbers, or I'm going to return true, else I'm going to check for the next integers. Let's see the code. This is very basic approach. This would come in everybody's mind, right? So as you see, I have run my loop for I from 0 to n. For j I have run from I plus 1 till n, and for k I have run from j plus 1 till n, and I'm checking if those three integers are equal to x or not. If yes, I'm going to return true, otherwise I'm going to return false after checking all the combinations. And if in case you have to print those numbers, what you can do is you can print those numbers here. Okay, like see out array at I, array at j and array at k. Now if we see the time complexity, so this would run for order n, this loop will go for maximum order n minus 1 time, and this loop would maximum go for order n minus 2 times. So if you see the time complexity, it would be n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3, which is if you ignore the constant, it would be order n into n, which is equals to order n cube. So time complexity is order n cube, and space complexity is order 1, because we have not taken any extra space to solve this approach. Okay, let's come to approach 2, and let's see if we how we are going to optimize this approach. What is the example? 12, 3, 4, 1, 6, 9. 12, 3, 4, 1, 6 and 9. So what I'm going to do in this is, first of all, sort the array. So how would my array look if I sort the array? It would look like 1, 3, 4, 6, 9 and 12. Okay, I have sorted the array. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep one of my pointer here, and then I'm going to keep one pointer after that. That means I'm going to run I from 0 till n. I'm going to run j from I plus 1 to I plus 1 till n, and for the remaining array I would search if my third element, that is x minus array at I and minus array at j, if it is present in the remaining part of the array or not. If yes, I would just return true and print those three elements, or if it is not if any of the combination does not is not equal to x, I would simply return false. Okay, so one basic thing that you all might be knowing, that if we sort the array, we don't need to search the element using linear search, right? We can use binary search, right? We can use binary search to search the element. So same I'm going to apply here. For searching the element in rest of the array, I'm going to use binary search. All right, so if you see here, I am running, first of all I have sorted the array, then for I am running the loop from 0 till n. For j I am running the loop from I plus 1 till n, and for the remaining part of the array, so if here it is I and here it is j, for remaining part of array, that is from j plus 1 till n minus 1, I am running binary search. That means I am searching this x minus array at I minus array at j in this remaining part, doing binary search, and after that I am taking any action. If you want to print, you can print the 3 elements here. So if you see the time complexity, this part would take order n log n, sorting the array. This loop would run for order n time, this loop would run for order n time, and this binary search is going to take order log n time. So if we combine the time complexity, it would be order n log n plus n square log n, right, which is equals to order n square log n, right? Time complexity is order n square log n, and we have not taken any extra space to solve this approach. So space complexity is order 1. Okay, now let's come to third approach. Let's again write the array 1 6 9. So for approach 3 and approach 4, I would recommend you to go to visit one of my previous video, which is of two sum problem. That is the first video that I posted on my channel, because in this in both these approaches I am going to convert the 3 sum problem into 2 sum problem, and to solve that 2 sum problem, you should know the basic of 2 sum problem, like what all approaches we use for that. So I would I will also mention the link of 2 sum problem in this video description. So I would recommend you to pause this video here and go back and see that video. It will benefit you, because you would with one problem you will get to know how to solve 2 problem as well. Okay, let me start how I'm going to solve this problem. So I'm going to keep one pointer here. So I'm going to run I from 0 till n. Right now I'm going to write it as n, but I'm going to show you that I'm not going to run till n. So what I'm going to do is, let's say for we know that for this example x given to us is 24. So what I'm going to do is, I will assume that element at index I is already the part of triplet. Okay, is already the part of triplet. So my new x, so the new x would be x minus array at I. Okay, so 24 minus 12 would be 12. So I'm assuming that this element is already the part of triplet. For every element that is at index I, assume that it is already the part of triplet. Now you have to find other 2 elements whose sum is equal to the new x. So for the remaining part of the array, you have to find 2 elements whose sum is equal to new x, right? So now for this part of the array, you have to find 2 numbers whose sum is equal to new x. So this is also known as 2 sum problem. That is finding 2 elements in the array whose sum is equal to some x, right? So same is what we are doing here also. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use the technique hashing for this solution. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to check that if new x minus array at j, if I'm going to point with this j, then I'm going to check if new x minus array at j is already present in the hash, because if it is already present in the hash, then I found my triplet. But if it is not present in the hash, then I have to iterate for other elements. So for 3, I would check that 12 minus 3, 9 is present in my hash. No. If not, then make an entry of 3 in the hash. For 4, 12 minus 4 present in the hash. No. Then make the entry for 4 in the hash. 11 present in the hash. No. Make the entry for 1. 12 minus 6, 6 present in the hash. No. Make the entry for 6. 9, 12 minus 9, 3 is already present in the hash. I have found my triplet, so I can break the loop there and I can print 12, 3 and 9 as my triplet. Now one thing you should notice, that if I will run my loop for outer loop till here, I would, if I run my loop till here, for 9, what triplets I'm going to find? There won't be any triplets left, so I should run my loop till here only, because in that case I would have at least triplets, because 6 and 9 would be there. But if I run my loop till 6, I won't be able to find any triplet, right? Because only one element, unseen element would be left in the array. For 9 there won't be any unseen element, so that is why instead of n I am going to run my loop till n minus 2. Okay, so let's see the code for it. I'm going to request one thing to you guys, that after seeing this code, just pause this video for a while and dry run on one example on your own, because that would may give you a better understanding of this problem. So okay, so we have run I from 0 to n minus 2 as we have seen. Then I've declared my hash. I've taken new x is equals to x minus array at I, and for j I'm running the loop from j is equals to I plus 1 till n. And then since all the code is exactly similar what we saw while dry running it, then I'm checking if new x minus array at j is present in the hash or not. So this means that it is, if this part of the code gets true, that means it's not present in the array, right? Element is not present in the array, it's not present in the array. If this code, then it means make the entry in hash, make the entry in hash, make the entry in hash. And if this condition gets false, that means the 2 elements are already there, just print the triplets. Okay, now if you see, this loop would run for order n time. Now this loop will also run for maximum order n minus, sorry, this will run for order n minus 2 maximum, and this will run for maximum order n minus 1. Now we will not consider the time complexity to find something in hash is order 1. We are going to I hope you guys are aware that we consider the average time complexity while considering any operation in hash. If you are not aware of it, please brush up your concepts of this, because I'm not going into that much detail. So this is order 1. So if you see time complexity is order n minus 2 into order n minus 1, which is order n square only, because we are going to ignore the constants. So time complexity is order n square. But if you see, I have taken a hash map, which in the worst case could consist of the n elements. So space complexity for this approach is order n. Okay, we have come from n square log n to n square, but now we have increased the space complexity. So what I'm going to do now is, let's see one more approach, 12, 3, 4, 1, 6, 9. So if you guys have seen it, to some problem, you would be aware what I'm going to do. So again, I'm going to sort the array 1, 3, 4, 6, 9 and 12. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to keep my I here, and I'm going to run I from same. I'm going to run from 0 to n minus 2. Then I'm going to keep 2 pointers, one j here and k here. And what I'm going to do is, I will find some new x, which would be equal to x minus array at I, and I'm going to check if j plus k, if array at j plus array at k double is equals to new x. If it is equals to new x, I have found my triplet. If the sum is greater than new x, I am going to decrement the k, and if it is less than new x, I am going to increment the j. Okay, this is as simple as it. Now let's see the approach for it. We have taken the similar arguments. I have sorted my array. I am running the loop from 0 to n minus 2. I have initialized j with the I plus 1 and k with n minus 1, and I am running the loop because I don't want my j to exceed the k. Now again, I want you guys to please watch the two sum problem, because you might not be understanding it that much. So please go and view that video once. Now I'm checking. I've captured the value of all these three elements in a variable called temp, and if I'm checking if temp double is equals to x, that means I have found my triplet. I will return true. If this temp is greater than x, I am decrementing. I'm moving right side. I'm moving left side, and if it is smaller, I'm moving right side. Okay, and I would cover it for the complete array. And if I don't find any, if I've come to this line, that means there is no triplet. So just return false. Now if we see the time complexity, so this part of the code takes order n log n. This loops run for order n minus 2 iterations. This loop would run for order n time. Now why I'm saying order n time, your array could look like this also, right? Let's say some random values there. So if you keep your I here, and if you keep your j here, and if you keep your k here, so k would, every time k would move here, like k would move every time. It would all the complete loop would move here. So in the worst case, it would move for n minus 2 times, right? N minus 2, yes. So this, in the worst case, it would run for order n time, right? So time complexity of this approach is order n. Let me write in the next line. So time complexity of this approach is order n log n plus order n square. So this is order n square. Time complexity is order n square. We have not taken any extra space, so space complexity is order 1. Right, we have not taken any extra space. N log n plus n square, we have not taken any extra space. Time complexity order n square, space complexity order 1. Yes. Okay, thank you.